Welcome to Off the Stage Podcast.
Welcome to Off the Stage Podcast. It's the show where we take musicians off the stage and into the pub to talk about the ins and outs of the music world. I'm James Berry, this is Conor Michael, and today we are joined by End Credits.
That's the one.
Woo!
There's a closer.
Yes, there we go.
Again, this is the kind of stuff we should have like a little monitor to get.
Yeah, we could
kind
do
of
that.
feed them back. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice little drive up from Teesside.
Oh yeah. Is that where you're all from, or is it?
That's
Yeah.
right. Billingham lads we are.
Mint.
Yeah. Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is the 4-string thing.
Yep, the bassist, Blaze Pickering. Hiya guys.
I'm Cameron. I'm the lead singer and the grafty
And I'm Eddie. I'm the drummer.
and the producer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the producer.
Yeah. Like recording, mixing, mastering.
So do you have your own studio, or is it like, do you use like the university? I know a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'm at uni in Leeds, which obviously we've got like studios there and stuff. But like our first album, I recorded a lot of it in college, and then also in my house I've got like an interface, and like I have a condenser, which is like a pretty like jack of all trades mic. So
It's like a road.
it's a SE. It's like
I know
200
it.
quid or something.
Yeah,
It's good though.
SE's a good one.
Yeah.
I love a good mic that does absolutely everything. I had a Rode, I think it's like an NT1 or something like that.
That's great.
That's
yeah.
just like
all around one.
yeah,
that though,
that's
isn't
just like the thingy. I got a which one was it? It was a WA-47, which was like a knockoff of like a really popular one that's like thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Is it the U47?
The U47. I can't believe
I
I've
want
got
to
that.
buy them.
But it's called a WA-47, so it sounds really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Wait.
it's not as obviously like you can't really beat the
To
top-end
anyone
sound
else
of it.
that doesn't know what they're on about and just shouting numbers,
Yeah.
I am the same here.
These are these are the condenser
Shouting
mics.
numbers and names and stuff, and you know.
Yeah, we are
same.
proper techie nerds, to be fair.
We've got some like knockoff 57s, which are just the Behringer ones, the 75. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, but they sound so good and they're like 20 quid each.
And
Well,
really
I-
good paint stirrers as well.
I've got a Stag one. It's called Stag. It's exactly the same, and obviously you can't beat like the quality of the SM57s. But
Yeah.
it was like 20 quid, and you got a free lead with it. It was just like
Whoa,
and a
bargain.
case.
Yeah.
like,
It's the wonders
always
of
cost
China.
more money
innit?
for the lead and the case, and like don't know how much I paid for the mic, but
I know.
Yeah.
but for the
China,
price.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should.
Yeah, we're at the ship ISIS.
Yeah.
Back in Sunderland. We now record the podcast in 2 different places.
Mm-hmm.
Today we are ship ISIS. And what are you guys drinking? What do we got?
I'm on the Star Apartment, Prague's best.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm actually on the Fruly, which is a bit of a wild card choice, but depending on who you ask, it's pretty good.
I can have a pint, but then I feel sickly after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got another one there. I'm all right now because I've not ate, so I need
Yeah.
some sort of yeah. But I don't know. It's because I remember there's a venue that we're literally playing at on Saturday called Any Volume in Stockton, and the owner there, or one of the owners, Adam. Every time I go, he knows I love Brewdog, and they've got like a deal or something, and they get those experimental cans, and he'll come to me. He's like, "Oh, Cameron, try this one." And he just gives me them for free. Honestly, like every time I go, I'm just getting fed free booze. 'cause
Some
he
of
just
them
gives
are nice, but some of them can be rotten, can't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a fucking lucky dip, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one of them in particular was this like strawberry and lime lager, and it wasn't as like sweet as this is. It's kind of like a nice little aftertaste with like the strawberry and lime. And honestly, I dream about it. Like it was so good.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing it, or it was like an experimental batch, and now it's gone. I just cry myself to sleep because it was top tier.
It's the issue with like the self-brewed places. It's like even downstairs they'll do like it's a different keg every week.
Yeah,
The best
yeah.
one I've had here was the bubblegum sour.
I did like
was-
that. I had 2 sips and I got heartburn.
Yeah.
Those 2 sips were just like worth the
Best
£6.
heartburn of your life.
Yeah, £6.50 I paid for the pint, you know.
Yeah.
What about you, Eddie? What are you drinking?
Well, I'm starting to feel a bit tipsy. I've got a Diet Coke, 'cause,
That's-
you know.
Yeah.
Not Coke Zero.
Yeah, I'm driving, so I thought I'd have something like, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
take the edge off a bit. And, yeah.
I was tempted to get you through it, but you just asked for a lager.
Yeah, you know what? Just sometimes I just like just a regular lager.
That's fair.
But I do like a good Fruity though.
That was a nice pint of Guinness when it first arrived as well.
I'm on a bit of a diet kick by hitting the gym and stuff. And I've recently found out that Guinness is one of the lowest calorie pints you can have.
Full of
So
iron.
I am fucking living on.
Got loads of iron in it.
Guinness.
It's good for your Guinness.
It's good for your blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is
Is
it
it?
like 120 calories or something for a pint?
Oh, right, okay.
I'll
take your word for it.
Don't get me wrong, like, calorie count wise, it's going to be great, but I'm going to die of gout before I'm 35. So.
It'd be heart attack. Oh no, I'm saying I'm past 35 now, so I've succeeded that.
Oh,
40.
Mate, I've just turned 21 and I feel old. So,
I turned 30, and I'm like,
yeah.
I've got bad back now.
Yeah, I've had a bad back for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if like I'm 36, so yeah.
I
Bad
feel
back
a
comes at
day
30.
older.
It's like
12-year-old me.
You are 12 years old, that's why. In your head.
In my head, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever just meet someone and like they say things and like you can't even fathom a response because you're just like
Trying to
what?
think of what I just said.
That is exactly how I would describe being with Blaze. And put it this way, I've been with him for many years now and he still shocks me because I'm just like, how do you?
But now
know?
you understand like half the shit. Like if you say, "Oh, did you mean this?" and I'm like, "That's exactly what I mean," you know.
Yeah, but you go around explaining things.
Beat around the
in most
bush, like, in the
ridiculous
most
ways.
awkward
You've got to have
way.
a fun character though, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
everybody.
You've got to
yeah.
have a Joey in your friends group.
100%.
Most looking funniest, who's going to carry all the weight of that? You know, someone has to.
Exactly. We could bring the keyboard player in next just to kind of
Well, we've joked about we play with another guitarist. He's called Joe Bradford. He's in another band called Provenance. So he's like an unofficial member, but he helps us out. He's a good mate. Well, all of us really.
Great
He just
guitarist.
yeah, he's unreal. And like he works because he was already our friend. We've talked about getting like a keyboard player because in our music, like especially in the studio, me and Eddie put loads like synths and keys, and we even play with his dad when we do like big festivals. Like we played Soundwave not too long ago at St Crew Beach, and he played with us, and it really brings out the sound of like what we
that
want
extra
it to
aura.
sound like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite atmospheric. Like a lot of the our songs on recordings and stuff, we just fill it out with loads of pads and stuff like that, and yeah, it's kind of missing something live sometimes. You think with some of the songs anyway.
It's getting that transition from your studio sound to
Yeah, exactly.
playing it
Live.
live on stage, because people, if they know our songs, will be sat there listening for bits that are in the recording.
Yeah.
And live, they won't be able to hear it, which is obviously where we're missing that.
Yeah, it's
But
always it's finding that balance between production value and what can you get away with kind of like live. Because if you've got like if you've well overproduced this song and then people really like the song and then you can't really like replicate that sound live, then people will be like, oh, it's like a bit of a letdown. isn't it?
100%, yeah.
So we've like oohed and ahed about getting a keyboard player. However, the idea of bringing someone entirely new into this absolute shit show of us three, because we are the most like dry humoured, annoying human beings at times, and like I feel sorry for somebody that I don't even know exists. Like trying to think of somebody new to come play.
Yeah.
Like feel free, honestly, keyboard players out there, give us a message. But honestly, good luck to you because
the thing is, they would also have to like our music and learn like what we already have recorded. Like if we were in future to have somebody in the band as a like keyist writing songs with us, then that's no problem. But learning all of our old stuff, and they have to like the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we all have really different personalities within ourselves, but like
There's quite a lot of like boxes to fill, isn't there?
starting off like when we first started the band, like me and Ed were really into like our prog rock and like metal, and we've sort of like eased Cameron into it now.
Yeah.
I'm
we
not
took him
mad at
we
all.
took him to download this year.
Oh,
And,
cool.
do you know what? Right,
You was busted.
we didn't see him.
right.
Unfortunately,
Right, I'm
it
gonna
would have
say,
been fun.
I'm gonna say something now, and I hope you don't kick off, don't kill me, right? But pop punk, right, is something I completely despise, and I just can't get with it at all.
It's one of my top like 5 genres. Like
I'm singer-songwriter, but he's got a pop punk band. So
Well, like, you know what? I don't call it pop punk because I don't like the name pop punk. I don't because there's nothing like punk about it. Like punk is an attitude. That's the only thing I always call it like alt rock. But obviously pop punk was a thing. I understood why people called it that because it was like almost like edgy humour. That was like that was what pop punk was. But it's definitely like I mean it's made a resurgence. But in my mind, pop punk is always it's defined by a specific generation.
Yeah.
That was my
100%.
generation that I grew up with, so it's just
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
However, you're not really gonna be able to like recreate something like from the past as well as if it was when it came out.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So
And like, so like I went there, and obviously there was a lot of like the way I see download is you've got like the really heavy side, then like your more like mainstream metal, and then you've got that random. I don't know why, but those same people that like the heavier stuff also just seem to like this pop punk side. I describe it as like the American sound.
It
Or
is
Americanism,
yeah.
this is what I
It
call
is
it.
American,
very-
yeah.
And like I don't know, like sometimes, especially if it's like a British band, it's all full of all these like Americanisms. Is the only way I can describe it.
are you?
Yeah, I can't. I don't
Yeah, I do get that, like, because I always make
It's
a
a pain in your eyes.
no, I always make a conscious
Please don't
effort
cry,
to like
mate, please.
no. So I always make a conscious effort whenever I'm singing to try and sing as much in like my accent as possible.
Yeah.
So I think it gives a bit of like
Originality.
it's authenticity.
Yeah.
It's you,
Just
innit?
singing.
Like where
Yeah.
you're from, how you sound is a part of you.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, but there is a point. Like, what's the point in trying to, like I was saying before, recreate something that isn't yours? Because if you can't do it right, then don't do it at all. Like a lot of people are looking for originality.
Yeah.
And I'd say like with us, we have our first, like our debut album we brought out in 2020.
Don't ask me.
22 was it?
22, yeah.
Yeah, and like so that has 10 songs on. The sort of same sort of all round sound with the production of it.
Yeah.
However, every song is almost different.
Yeah.
And I guess like, you know, we've done that just
Still now.
try well, yeah, no, like so we've got this EP that we're currently in the middle of writing and like recording and stuff.
Yeah.
And anyone else wanna
Well, it's like
I'm tripping over words here.
try not to like limit yourself to any genre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, we get people who say, "Oh, this song's my favorite," or "That song's my favorite," and we've got heavier songs, we've got lighter songs, we've got songs that have loads of synths and stuff on.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just a kind of, we just write the songs and we're like, actually, that one sounds cool. Let's just, you know, release it or whatever. And we're not trying to kind of limit ourselves to any like certain genre. I think people, you find your sound as you're evolving, don't you?
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. You just
yeah.
look at things you like it and you go. Because I do almost like it's worked out. I think I've got my own sound now, but I used to be like obsessed with like specific people. Bob Dylan was the first one. Obsessed with Bob
Good
Dylan.
choice, to
I
be
used to
fair.
be obsessed for a good few, probably about half a year,
I'd love
maybe
to
even
hear
a
your
year.
impression of that, though.
Jim Morrison. I've noticed you got the tattoo
Oh
there.
yeah.
I just wanted to be Jim Morrison.
Well,
I don't
Well,
I couldn't
to
pull it
all
off, you know. I don't have that. I don't have that swagger. But then because I was like almost in the mind of these people. It's kind of like
Yeah.
no, I take a little bit of that out.
Well, no, that's what it's about. Like,
So I keep a little bit of that in us, and that's kind of like
yeah.
eventually it kind of amalgamates, and you find your own little thing.
Well, it's taking like pieces of the jigsaw of like that's how I like learned guitar. That's how I learned to sing. Like I listen to all these people and like honestly, a lot of guitar music. I grew up in a house listening to like old school house music, trance, techno.
Yeah.
So like the music I grew up with, I do love it. I won't lie. But like only more recently I've got into it. But all the guitar music I've discovered on my own, and like it's that thing of like you fall in love with like a new artist and then you're obsessed and you want to learn everything about them. You want to learn how they write
Yeah.
songs, why they write them, all the tools they use, everything, and then you move on to the next one. But you always maintain that little piece of something.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And that is how I describe how I've built up like my repertoire and how I've made music. Like when I first started writing songs, it kind of was like, right, I'm gonna write a song that sounds like the Stone Roses. Or I'm gonna write a song that sounds
Yeah.
like Oasis.
I'm probably glad you're out of that era now, because
Oh,
when we
right,
first
shit.
started,
it was tough, wasn't it?
me and Blaze, like we literally started when we were like 14, and me and Blaze were like wanting to play just like, you know, rock and stuff like that, and sort of grungy stuff and everything like that. And we were learning covers and stuff because that's how we learned to play. Obviously, we weren't writing any songs at the time.
Yeah, getting gigs in
And-
loads of local pubs and that.
Yeah.
To try and, you know,
So-
experience more than anything, innit?
Exactly, yeah. Building up a repertoire of music that we can actually play and learn how to play tight and everything.
Yeah.
And we'd be picking songs to learn. Me and Blaze would be suggesting all sorts of different stuff, you know. And Cameron would be like, oh yeah, I've got this Oasis song that I really like, you know, Supersonic. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, I think we should do Fool's Gold by Stone Roses. And then it was literally like he was just stuck in his indie phase.
Yeah, it happens. We all go through phases of different things.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't have a rock dad. My dad was a DJ, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to learn all this on my own, and I was waiting for all these stages. And I'd like to think now I have a reasonable taste in music.
I would say so as well.
Yeah.
That's the great thing, isn't it? Like Oasis and stuff, for a lot of people, and Arctic Monkeys and stuff like that is a gateway into a broader...
No,
Well, that's
That's
it.
like everyone's
Yeah,
first
yeah.
rock band, isn't it?
Kind of like, I mean, I know this might sound cliche, but like when you listen to like something for the first ever time, like a specific sound,
Yeah.
and then you feel like you're the only person in the world who's like just discovered, even though it's like
Yeah,
30
yeah.
years old,
Yeah.
like you think like where the hell have I been? Where's this been in my life? And it's like I don't know, it's just a feeling kind of like, and then you get proper hammered down and you learn like, oh what kind of stuff, you kind of learn the bands that are like that they sound like as well, and that's how you
Yeah.
kind of get into music and stuff. But yeah, you do get to sing. I mean, our scene was like you either like pop punk, Blink-182, Offspring, or you were like Oasis
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Blur. But like Oasis and Blur kind of had the same bands, but they didn't at the same time. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's that indie,
Yeah.
90s Britpop.
It's in
Yeah, Britpop, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, Britpop.
I think my Oasis era kind of lasted about 3 weeks. And it was one of them, like, I'd never
Pretty sure
listened to
mine
them.
was less than that.
And I'd never really listened to them then. Taught myself guitar and started learning cover songs, like you say. And then you get into Oasis, and within about 2 weeks or so, you're like, this isn't too bad.
Yeah,
and 2 weeks later, you're like, I cannot be arsed to play that chord. Like, and then it's just constantly, can you play this one? No.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so. I own a pub with my parents in Billingham called the Porcupine, and
That's where you'll find us every day.
every
do
other
live there,
day,
like.
yeah.
He said
But,
take them off the stage into the pub. That's the pub you'll
That's
find
the
us
pub.
at.
Yeah.
Porcupine,
It's a
Billingham, Bosch.
Cool hangout spot for all the cool kids. You know. Anyways, I have a little like an acoustic that I keep in there, and like sometimes I'll just like pick it up and just have a little play, and then someone will turn around and go, play Wonderwall, and I'm like, oh, shit.
It's always
Like,
Wonderwall.
Anything else apart from that, like.
We've been like, and we ask for Wonderwall, we start with the chords,
Yeah.
then you end up playing Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like but you have to kind of play it at the end because like it was like, oh yeah, and then you start
See
going,
the lightly
I was
eyes.
this low to the go. It was just like the puppy dog eyes and stuff, just like, oh, I was like, oh, I've just ruined his night. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I need to see that. That is amazing. Yeah.
We'll take a short break. We'll come back with part 2. We've got a bunch of Instagram questions. So yeah, we'll see you
In a bit.
part 2.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Cool.
Wrong one.
It doesn't matter that.
Yeah.
Really good, apart from.
Close enough. Welcome back to side 2, everyone. We've got a few Instagram questions, haven't we?
We have. So if you haven't yet, follow us. We are at Off the Stage UK. The day before we record with the artists, we'll drop some sort of content to ask questions, really.
Yeah. Just double check and press the record button.
James is still doing leg day. We've got 5 questions on Instagram. Valentine's Sophie said, what's been their favourite gig?
That's a good question. That Sophie's like avid gig go of ours.
Mine is Soundwave. Like,
So you've got to say one that she was at.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you say Soundwave?
Yeah, we just recently did it like about a month ago. Seaton Crew Beach with Kaiser Chiefs and Feeder.
Feeder and that.
Well,
So
there's
it is
loads
been
cool.
in lineup already, isn't it?
Yeah, all the bands there were just so good to watch. And we were on the BBC introducing stage, which was like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got to talk to all the like presenters and everything, and they're all really nice. So it's
It
just a
was
good day out, wasn't it?
It was a
Like,
really good opportunity that we managed to like get, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. We even got told that by like some of the people on the BBC introducing team, they were like, "Oh, like we've been told you was like the standout performance of our stage that day," which is obviously like
That's cool. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing that was because a lot of the sort of bands that were playing on the same stage as us, like after us, all had the same sort of like sound,
vibe.
vibe. Whereas like our set.
Yeah.
We played for half an hour.
we were quite
but
heavy.
It's good
we
if you stand out. If you've got like a different sound from everyone else, you do definitely stand out. And
100%,
obviously if you're good, which
I mean,
we've already seen you play, so we know.
Another thing though is
Thanks,
that
guys.
we were first on that stage. Everyone always remembers like the first and last band,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
You know. But
Aye.
Unless the middle
It's a good
bands are
impression.
super really good.
Yeah.
That's,
it was
but-
a very nice
yeah.
compliment to have though.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The only other one I'd say in comparison to that one was we got a chance to play Stockton Calling twice. We played it. Was it 2020?
Yeah, last year
Three.
and
Yeah,
this year, didn't we?
Yeah, that was it. So 2023, and we got to open Q Bar, which was like amazing. But the second year, the one that we played this year, bought a whole new outfit for. Definitely didn't steal
Got
it.
terrorised for that.
I'll get on to that. Definitely didn't steal it from the new Doctor Who. So basically, where I buy all my clothes from is this website called Madcap England, and they supplied all the clothes for the new Doctor Who. And I just stole one of the outfits completely because I thought it looked amazing. But when
we did
played,
look cool, to be fair, when
There
we
was
were
something that
playing.
looked amazing.
Oh,
Like,
right, I was going to say, basically, right, I bought these blue trousers and maybe they were a little bit tight.
Yeah.
And maybe I've been told I've got quite a big bum.
Yeah, looking a bit
I was getting harassed all fucking day. And it wasn't by girls.
By
It
these
wasn't by
two.
girls my age, it was by married women and these cunts. I couldn't be left alone.
But yeah,
But playing on that stage that day, we were in the Georgian room, which is like 350 capacity. And literally, I had mates messaging me while we were on stage.
and family, like
They
trying
like,
to
we
get
can't
into
get
the
in.
room.
They've maxed out the room completely.
Like, literally out of the door with about what, like 350, 400 people.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, the room was bouncing.
Yeah.
It was
Like
absolutely
the atmosphere,
amazing.
like when you're playing sort of gigs like that and everybody there is like on the same vibe as you. You know, you feel like a sort of family together. It makes you want to play better, and it makes
It's the vibe, it's
just-
the
I don't
atmosphere.
know,
innit?
yeah,
It drives
all
you.
of them makes everybody else feel better. Like from us giving to other people.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you mentioned like Jim Morrison and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I would say, like, well, there's a reason I put him on my arm right there. It's because like that on the stage presence of like people like Jim Morrison or like James Brown. Like
Yeah.
I think we were on about Oasis before. The one thing Oasis didn't have, it's stage presence. Like I don't know, I become this like character of myself, and I throw myself around the stage, and I like dance, and like I like to put on a show. And
Yeah,
people
it's
ask,
important.
how do you do it? Or people are like, how many lines of coke are you on? And the answer is 0.
you just feel it, don't you?
Yeah, like
You
I get
just-
this feel. I just get into the vibe, and like I really do enjoy myself on stage. It's honestly where I feel the best.
Yeah, 100%.
And like I think that's what it's about, and the audience sees that, and
Yeah.
it allows people to join in.
You know, because they've come to see you, you know,
Yeah.
or like us, I should say.
Performance,
It just
yeah.
feels
Yeah.
amazing.
But obviously, stage energy feeds the audience
Feeds-
energy,
yeah.
and it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
perfect
It does.
thereabout.
It's honestly. It's. I mean, you talk like. I mean, it might sound a bit like flipping hippie here, but I think there is. It is the energy is infectious. Because if you're jumping about on stage, everyone's going, "Oh, this is all right."
Yeah.
There's a social experiment. It's so it was in a park, people having a picnic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one person put on loud music, and obviously to the annoyance of everyone, he starts going up and dancing and stuff like that. And everybody's just looking at him, going, "What the hell is he doing?"
Yeah.
He's like the leader. That's what they call like to get like the vibe going.
Yeah.
He's not the most important one. The most important person to get the vibe going is the person who joins him.
Yeah.
Because it tells everyone else, "Oh,
It's
this is
all right
okay."
to do this,
And then
yeah.
the minute they had this experience, I think the guy must have been dancing for like 5 minutes, just like non-stop, just kind of doing his thing.
Yeah.
And then it was about when this other guy started doing it. This random guy out of nowhere started doing it. Obviously, he wasn't a random guy out of nowhere. He was part of the experiment.
Yeah.
The minute he started doing it, everyone else started joining in, going, "Oh, okay, this is all right."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
You've got to invite people.
yeah, that's it. Aye.
Which is why, like, when you go out on stage and you can be a bit nervous, like people feel it, like, and they get a bit nervous. But like, if you can get past all that and just like, don't know, like have a little bit of dance. I always say like during songs or like, oh, this next song, feel free to move and dance, join in with us. And like, it's one thing that I always get told about my performance. Like, I've never thought I was the greatest singer or the greatest guitarist. Like, he's definitely the best drummer, but and like Joe is unbelievable. But the one thing that I do bring is like like a theatricalness to my performance. Like I do put on a show, or at least I do try.
Brilliant.
And people do really enjoy it.
Like, if you just stand there still on stage, you know, monkey see, monkey do, all your crowd is just gonna stand there like you. Where if you know, you can like,
Yeah, why?
you know,
Why?
do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't put that into words, but if the camera can see me, if you're like doing that,
On YouTube,
everybody
the camera
else
can
is
definitely
gonna
see
do
you,
that,
don't
you
we?
know what I mean? But right, should we go on to the next question?
Yeah. Reese_Don said, "What's their favourite of the songs that they've made?"
Or
Ooh.
I mean, we could probably all give a different one here.
Mm.
Eddie, you can go first.
Well, my favourite was always a song called Underglow off our first album. And I mean, it's really fun to play on the drums, which is a bonus for me. But like, I just really like the vibe of the song. I think it's just got some really like well written parts from these, and I think it sounds cohesive to me, and I like it's something that I would happily listen to by myself. Like I don't really listen to any of our music, but that song, like if someone puts it on or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I can appreciate. Actually, I'm pretty proud of this song, and
Yeah.
but I strongly believe that our next set of releases is like the best stuff that we've made yet. I think it's
massively agree.
100%. Because we have our debut album, then shortly after that we released a small EP of one of the songs that couldn't make it onto the first album. However, we released that with 2 demos of 2 songs from that album, which it, like sort of gave you a perspective on how the songs like sort of sounded before the final production.
Yeah.
For my favourite song that we play live will probably be this new one that we're about to release as part of this EP that we only wrote, you know, a short while ago. Just purely because it's a lot heavier than like our previous songs, and it is called When Push Comes to Shove.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's the only one that is in like a.
It's in C standard, which is a completely new ball game for us. Literally, the song came about. We were unfortunately packing up for a gig, going up in the loft for our practice room, which is absolute torture, by the way. And literally, Blaze just said, I don't know if he said it in a sentence or what. He was just like, "When push comes to shove," and he was like, "That'd be a cool band name, that." And then I was like, "Yeah, it would." And then like I heard the first phrase. And then I had like a bit of a melody going, and then I had like the melody in my head, and then literally before we left, I just picked up my guitar, and like it just came, like the riff came, and then literally next practice, we were learning covers for a gig we've just done on this Saturday for Reese Don's birthday, funnily enough. We were learning some Queens of Stone Age songs, which obviously are like C standard.
Yeah.
And rather than actually learning the covers we were meant to, I just started playing this riff, and like everyone's like,
I picked up the bass, started playing what you were playing. He picked up the sticks, so we started jamming it a little, and then we were like, "Wow, I think we're onto something here." Less than like 3 hours later, we almost had a full song, didn't we?
It came together like probably the quickest out of
like
anything.
out of all the songs we've ever wrote.
Yeah,
it's heavy. Like
I would say the
good.
only other song, well, not the only other song. I like playing all of our songs, but my second favourite is a song called "Message to the Floor," which is an instrumental song that we do, and it's quite a relatively short song compared to the rest. But that has more of like a sort of breakbeat drum style song, a bit more like, I don't know, how would you describe that song?
Well, it's a song I've written, and it came about from, I've got a mate called Oscar, and he's a drum and bass DJ, and I remember like I used to go out with him all the time, getting up to mischievous things, as you do, and literally he just blasted drum and bass all day, all night, and like it was just ingrained in my mind, and I was like, what if I try to write like a drum and bass song, but I'll limit it to like what the band is, so there's got the drums, the bass, 2 guitars, and then I started like, I had Logic at the time, which is terrible, but I suppose it does.
It did its job though,
And like I started making the parts, and then before I knew it, I had this whole song, and I ended up showing Eddie, being like, haha, look at this, like thinking it was nothing special, and Eddie was like, we should use that.
We could use it,
100%. And then we ended up making the whole song. Eddie was like, make the guide track the day before we were meant to be recording the drums, And he was like, rather than do it at the slower tempo we played it at, I pushed it by a few, and it ended up being like 176 BPM. And we went in the studio. The next day.
He's having nightmares of it.
Yeah, we were in the studio the next day. Literally, like he was used to playing this breakbeat, like nice and slow, and then just started playing. It's just like, and he's just like, and he did it all in one take. We listened back. We didn't even need to edit any of the drums, and he just turned around and went, "You fucking pushed the rhythm on me." Like, he was well fuming.
But the thing is, like, you'd not do that again. You'd be like, I'm not doing a second take of that.
I was absolutely knackered after that.
Better.
I think that kind of links to the next one. Jack_Orban_2. Who won the drum off, Eddie or Jack?
Oh,
so
that was good fun.
This is a gig we had with. So he's the drummer out of
Joe's band Provenance.
Joe's band Provenance, who is our guitarist. He's the drummer. Just for a laugh, we thought like.
At the end of our gig, we just did a bit like a drum off between Jack and Eddie. I can't even remember that far. My memory's absolutely.
It was at the studio in Hartlepool.
Yeah, it was pretty fair, to be fair.
It was like we were kind of like bouncing off each other, so it was in the middle of one of our songs. There's a bit where there's like a drum fill, and instead of at the end of the fill going back into the song, I just carried on and started doing a solo, keeping it around the same tempo of the song, and then finished it. And then he'd come on and kind of play something similar, starting out similar to what I was playing, and then going into his own stuff. And it was like, well, he's a great drummer, so it was like, you know.
It was. We didn't have much like you know, we sort of just said it and did it, and you know, no practice of it or anything.
Yeah, it was all just
so
improv.
It was just improvised.
It's the best way to do it, isn't it? Because it was all just a load of fun. Like, we're not trying to fucking, you know, get nerdy and learn loads of little rudiments we can do and everything.
Yeah.
I'd say for that question will be for whoever is watching this, if they
Whoever
went
came to the gig.
Yeah, if they went to the gig.
Maybe we'll have to do it again on Saturday, because I know
Yeah,
Jack's
we could
coming.
do.
Oh, yeah.
Could.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
maybe we'll have to.
Yeah, we'll
Tag
get
on
back
that.
to you on that one and
Yeah.
make it official on.
I'll have to get practicing.
Two more we got. At Ralphie Wood said, who are the key musical influences that have shaped you today?
I'd say for me, The Doors. Obviously, they're a band that I really, really like. As for the band, a bit of a strange one, but honestly, Deftones has been something that's been like really prominent. When we were making so basically, my ex-girlfriend got me into Deftones, like slowly introduced it. This is when I was still like
And
bit
Smashing
Ooh and Ari.
Pumpkins.
Oh yeah, there's definitely. Although I've always liked them a little bit. So like, she kind of like led me into them gently, and like didn't just show me like the ones that everyone loves. Like took me down like a path, and then over time I just ended up like falling in love with them. And these two already liked them. This is kind of how it goes, right? So these two already like or every band ever, and then like it'll basically be me. I'm a right snob. I'll hate something until I love it, and I'll come to them and I'm like, "What, have you heard this?" And they're like, "Yeah, obviously." And then because I fall in love with it, these then fall back in love with it,
Yeah,
and then
true.
like before we know it, we're all listening to the same stuff. And literally while we were making that first album, and even now, like some of the things that we write, like it just it's the production. Like me and Ed are obviously dead production nerds, but like Keone Yoken or Saturday Night Wrists, those albums, the way the sound is absolutely like immaculate. Like
Lots of layers of sound.
Yeah, well, I will say, like, expanding what you've just said there, we will, like, show him, like, a couple songs or, like, an album, and he won't be too fond of it. And then he'll come back either, like, 2 years later and be like, "Have you heard this?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, didn't you say you didn't like this?" And one of the most recent bands will have been probably Tool,
Yeah.
which is
Definitely
like
Tool.
a prog, like, metal band.
I did hear you play Schism.
Oh,
when
earlier
you're like
on.
jamming it.
Yeah. But yeah, these went to go watch them at their own gig in where was that?
that was at
Manchester?
the AO Arena in Manchester.
I was going to say
Manchester.
Manchester. Our drummer wanted to go see them, but then he couldn't justify the
It
Do you
was
know what,
the
right?
time off and the
expensive.
money.
The day before, the day before I was sat there and I was looking at my overdraft, which was already in there,
Oh.
deep, and I just went, "You only live once." And to be fair, they're getting on a bit now.
Yeah,
Like, a lot of the
honestly.
band are like 67 odd. How long are they going to be drumming for? Like Danny Carey specifically, obviously. But like, how long are they going to be playing for? So I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And
Yeah.
I went, do you know what? it was worth every penny.
Yeah, I bet it was.
They are awesome. Last time me and Ed saw them was at a download in 2019, and that was just crazy. But we obviously say to you then, oh, listen to this. You go, fuck off.
Yeah.
There's still things now that show me, and I'm just like,
Yeah, but who's to say in 2 years' time from now you'll come back to us and be like, can we do a cover of this?
I'm waiting for the next one. I'm wondering what it's going to
nah, mate, I'll tell you what, it's definitely not going to be Dying Fetus. That's what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I saw it download, and I was literally like, I'm gonna have to go outside.
You'll go the other way, like in 10 years' time, you'll be like, should we do a Backstreet Boys one? Are you saying no? Like when you watch this back in 10 years' time, oh, actually, that would be a tune, actually.
I hope not.
I think it'd more likely be the Beastie Boys instead of the Backstreet Boys. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't predict these things. It just happens.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the influences, like Tool is something that me and Blaze have listened to since we were like really young, and that is Danny Carey's like a massive inspiration for me because he's just like a god on the drums, but like I have grown up with like listening to metal and stuff like that, which for my inspiration and my input to the band, it's a lot of it comes from the drummers of bands that I've listened to. Like, just to name a few, would be like Taylor Hawkins, Dave Grohl, Chad Smith, Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree. It's all kind of like amalgamated in what I want to try and input into the band. Obviously, all that stuff is a lot more technical drumming, which it's fun for me to play that as well, instead of just playing sort of like 4/4 beats.
I guess if you listen to some of our music, like especially for the drums, because it's easier to pick out than like say the bass or like rhythm guitar or something like that. But you can definitely hear like certain techniques what Eddie is sort of not stolen, but like took from like other like sort of really great drummers.
Kind of an influence of.
Yeah, and turned it into something that obviously we can use.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I always hear at a gig is people are always like, oh, like the drummer is absolutely immaculate. In the gig scene, people take the piss saying it's called Steady Eddie because like, the human metronome.
No, it's
because
fucking Fast Eddie, mate. That's his nickname.
Eddie is insane at the drums. He'll be very humble about it now, but like it's the one thing I always hear consistently.
He is very robotic.
Yeah, like it's crazy, and like it shows in his influences. He's definitely like a metal drummer, which was what makes our sound so like strange at times. Because here's me with me like coming in with like my house music influences or my dance music, and then there's Blaze with his goofy metal or whatever.
Goofy metal. Like, so I like a lot of sort of like Primus and a lot of. I don't know. I like sort of like Avenged Sevenfold and like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like Rush. I like a lot of Rush. All with great bass players like Geddy Lee and.
I was gonna say a lot of the stuff that you play is very, very funky, and you do like a lot of slap and.
Yeah, I tried like. See, I've only
it's class.
I've only been playing the bass as long as the band.
I love giving him a slap.
Yeah.
I've only been playing bass as long as the band has been going. Like,
classic big story.
Yeah, it is.
I started off as drums. So me and Ed became like really, really fucking good friends. Was obviously we both played drums. He'd been playing since he was like 2, and I started when I was about 10. So obviously he had the more experience. When we like wanted to start a band when we were like 14-year-old, I was like, mate, I've got no other option here. Like I did a little bit of guitar then.
Story of the bass, like, well, he's the better guitar player, so I'll do the bass.
As we've been like writing and learning covers and stuff, I've just been like evolving my own abilities, and taking it from like other bassists, like learning their songs, going, oh, I can do that little bit, like a little fill or something, put that into our songs.
A good bass player can completely transform a band. And like, if you look at a 3-piece band like Muse or something, put any bassist in it who just plays root notes and you've lost half the melody of that band.
Look at the bands we just named there, like Muse, Tool, like these bands.
Primus is led from the bass.
Like the key thing that glues it all together. Anyway, what's the next question?
Final question. _ Ash Keen said, what's Cameron's morning hair routine?
So basically, I wake up, I roll over, I sit up and I go, oh my god, am I still alive? and then I get out of bed and that's about it really.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
No
Yeah.
L'Oreal, no nothing.
No,
You
no
okay?
L'Oreal.
Conditioner or anything.
Just choked on the foam of that.
Well done. This is what I was
Sorry.
on about.
Go on.
Anyway, I don't know, like, I don't actually do anything with my hair. And the few times I've tried is always at gigs. I have this, like, so my mum's a hairdresser, so it only makes sense that I don't cut my hair and I have long hair. It's my only way of, like, living la resistance. Do you know what I mean? And, you're alright.
It's the best podcast audio.
Oh, right, go on, Cam. Sorry, guys.
The few times I've bought, like, she's like, yeah, put this in your hair, Cam. And it's like mousse. And she'll put loads in and like, yeah, I get my nice big like Jim Morrison rip off poofy hair. Sounds a bit wrong now. Anyway, like I'll be at my gig and I've had to start taking a towel to the gig. Like I don't know what it's like for you when you're playing, but the sweat that pours out of me, I could fill buckets. It's ridiculous. And like because of it, it's all fun and games when I've just got my normal hair and it gets all wet and I look like a tit. But when I've got mousse in my hair, like I'll be playing and then I'll just feel this like liquid dripping into my eye.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now,
Yeah,
like 1,000 burning suns isn't even close to the pain I feel.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the gig, I'm playing like this. I feel like, wow, he's so like
So emotional.
Yeah.
I'm going fucking hell. Like my eyes are like, it's like granted my eyesight's bad enough, but it only gets better when I just have mousse.
Yeah.
Mousse dripping in my eyes. So yeah, unfortunately there is no longer a hair routine. It's
So
kind of
just
just bedhead and maybe I'll like wet the fringe.
Yeah.
Anything that had the hairline basically. I'm praying that you can't really see it and it's looked alright.
So far, so good.
Alright, good.
I've always had like a bad hairline. Like
I don't even
that's why I have long hair or wear a hat.
I get told it's not even bad, but I've got like a widow's peak which kind of comes front, and it just I already work at McDonald's, but I didn't need the M. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't need it as well. That's the hair routine.
It's actually my hair routine, to be fair.
It's mine half the time as well.
Yeah.
Could I
That's
ask if you have any particular questions for us also?
Yeah.
Oh, not particular.
If not, I've
mean,
got a question for you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
go
go
on
for it.
then.
Right,
Just steal a bit of it for now. Ask a question after they've asked us.
mate. Connor's already just went nah.
All the things we're going to ask were in the first part.
To be fair, the questions we asked,
no
was,
worries.
like the first part's for us, like
Yeah.
the second
Right.
part's for the Instagram.
So this
we were
one's
like,
from our-
Try not to be like a radio interview. Just
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
So this one's from my mate Finley, right? We also call him Pedro because he looks Colombian. Basically, right. If you bought a multi-pack of crisps, or in your household, whether you're at home or in your own house, whether you live with like a partner or not, what is the last flavour of crisps to be left?
ready salted.
Yeah, ready salted.
Ready salted.
Mate,
Ready
right,
salted.
fair
Agreed.
enough. Why salt and vinegar? Do you not like salt and vinegar?
cheese and onion. Like if I'm going on the basics that you normally get, which
Yeah.
is normally them three.
Yeah.
Occasionally prawn cocktails in there.
Yeah.
Cheese and onion's the best. Ready salted is just good. It's not fantastic. It's not shit, but it's like you can
Plain
do more.
it is
Yeah.
no bad about it. There's nothing good.
Prawn cocktail is brilliant
That's
when you
the
get the
elite.
dusty one, not the one that
With loads
comes
of
out
flavour
pink.
on it. Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you just see the green packet and go.
No,
Remember
right.
what them-
Listen, right. So Pedro absolutely hates vinegar, like salt and vinegar, right? And he claims that like every household only leaves salt and vinegar, and I'm like, no, like it's obviously going to be like cheese and onion.
No,
I wasn't
Could-
See,
fond of
see,
it.
I really like salt and vinegar crisps.
Aye.
However, I work with someone who always brings in her packet of crisps, always salt and vinegar, but they don't eat the salt and vinegar. So they bring it into work, say, because they know I eat it. So like,
bonus?
Good,
yeah.
So every time we do a gig, James hears me.
Remember
16
that?
packs, salt and vinegars.
Remember when I found that crisp in my hoodie that must have been like 6 months old? And like, guess the flavour. This is like last year.
Was it like
that,
soft, like a waffle?
that was salt and vinegar. Yeah, that was salt and vinegar crisp.
And it wasn't salt and vinegar to begin with. It just it was like a roast beef monster munch.
It's an evolution of crisp, you see. So it's just like you need to let it marinate in
matured.
there.
Honestly, my dad worked in a crisp factory for
In a fish
about-
factory.
for about like 25 years. So like any crisp under the sun I've had, and I could give like a valid opinion.
Yeah. A connoisseur.
Yeah.
I think ready salted is just pointless. Like,
Yeah.
eat other. If you want to get a bag of crisps, get some flavour. Like, you know.
There used to be a crisp.
Is this one where you
crisp
salt
flavour.
them yourself?
Yeah,
Like
but
outside
that, I mean,
yourself.
you had to salt the crisp yourself.
No, this
And then shake the bag.
My,
That
my
sounds
ex
quite
used
good,
to buy
actually.
them, and I'm like,
Why,
fucking
like-
put the salt on, you lazy bastards. Do you know what I mean?
Then
You
you
probably
put
paid
more
more
salt.
for that, and like it's like you got to put in the work. Maybe it's like you like to think yourself as like some like Gordon Ramsay when you're like
the salt bay.
Yeah.
salt bay in the crisps.
Or salt bay in your packet of air nowadays.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh yeah, it is.
You buy the
Shrinkflation, innit?
flavour of air in the bag, and there's like maybe a few crisps in the bottom.
You know the excuse that they give.
What?
It's transportation reasons, so the
like
air,
the air
protects
pressure.
the crisps. But the
Oh.
crisps are always broken anyway. You always got like
Yeah.
down the packet.
Yeah,
So
well, it
just
goes
be honest.
by weight, doesn't it? So obviously the weight, like every year, probably goes down by like half a gram or something.
and then the
but-
price goes up as well.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not
Yeah.
daft.
The less
Won't even
weight,
go
the more
there.
price. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Are
just,
we on about crisps?
Yeah.
hey, there's nothing wrong with crisps, alright. I just thought I had to get it out there because we were in Leeds. It's where me and Eddie are living for university, right? And literally, I feel sorry for some of Eddie's friends because like Eddie's there and Eddie's fairly normal and timid, and then he's like, oh yeah, my friends are coming, and then like my friendship group, which has now become both of these lads, like we're just absolute arseholes. We're always the rowdiest, proper North East lads, basically, proper Teessiders. And we'll go out in Leeds with Eddie's mates who are like nice and calm, collected, like nice quiet pint. And then there's me and Pedro just going, no, it's cheese, and like screaming and shouting about crisps in the middle of spoons, getting kicked out, fucking fighting about
All the
like
crisps,
crisps.
aye,
He's
aye.
going, no, you can fuck off. Like arguing about crisps for no reason. I remember once being sat in Leeds, and I think some of Eddie's friends just been sat there being like absolutely sick of us, and it happens every time.
Or like no.
Well, it's what happens. You get a few pints down you can argue black is right, and you know,
Well,
literally,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good night out in Leeds though.
definitely,
For sure.
very fun.
We had different experience in Leeds, but that's for another
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I think, like, so.
Yeah.
For the next episode.
We were dressed as Freddie Mercury, nobody liked that.
Yeah.
Hey, I was dressed as Velma, he was dressed as Shaggy, and he was Daphne, yeah.
Were you allowed in any bars?
We got in
Yeah.
everywhere.
We weren't
couldn't-
allowed in
we-
a single one.
We couldn't.
Maybe it was just us. Maybe it was us.
Hey, our
When we
mate,
went to the gay scene, they wouldn't let us in, but we were dressed as like the biggest gay icon of the last few decades.
our mate was dressed as Willy Man, which is basically like this superhero costume, but he had a massive schlong.
Yeah.
And like every time you entered the bar, they go, "I'm not serving you till you put that away."
Yeah,
Stuck
yeah.
with this big fucking cock,
Just a
right?
pillow, innit?
swinging it round. I'll show you some photos afterwards, right? It was absolutely hilarious. But I don't know. We seem to get in places.
Our mate was dressed up as the I Want to Break Free Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
And he was wearing the same outfit as the drag queen at one of the bars, and they wouldn't let us in because fancy dress. I was like, it's this.
Yeah,
He's got dressed as a bitch. What are you on about?
yeah. The clubs in that are a bit
Mental time.
funny. Like Cameron had fucking gone home or whatever.
I was done.
And we were all carrying on drinking. We went round the clubs and that, and we must have went to like 10 different places before somewhere would actually let us in because we're like, oh, you got fancy dress, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
But like,
We ended up in the
What's
Stone
the
Roses
difference?
bar. Was the
I
only
know
place.
it's like, how do you determine someone's clothes as whether it's like
I know,
fancy
exactly
dress or
what
not?
it is.
If you're denying like 10 people coming into your place of business, the amount of money you must lose, because each one of them guaranteed, well, especially for us, will have like 2 or 3 drinks before we move to the next place.
Yeah,
Like between 10 people, them losing loads of money.
yeah. It's that
However,
loss, isn't
they
it?
won't care. will
Mate,
they?
you
So-
should have seen me in my Velma costume. I was sexy. I was drawing people in, mate. You would have seen me and be like,
I mean, the beer goggles as well, because you got the hair and all, so it's just like
Yeah.
I could see.
honestly,
how
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, right? I'm going to photo on my phone and I'll show you, you'll go, wow.
We were in like pants.
Oh, mate,
Just like
the
full
skirt
go for
was up here, bro. It was so funny.
Must have had a nice breeze, especially at download.
Oh,
Like,
it was-
Oh
we-
yeah, yeah.
it was
we wore the
pissing
same
down
costumes
at
at download,
download,
yeah.
but it was boiling, wasn't it? Like,
I was left on me. I had the breeze, and well, it was raining to be honest. So I had the breeze, but I also had just very wet clothes.
and the boots slopping through like fucking a foot deep of mud, you know.
It's a proper like workout on it just to walk
That's what
anywhere.
festivals are about, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not that.
We have probably slightly gone over this part.
Yeah, it's fine.
But before we do call this one a wrap, have you got any gigs or songs that you want to give a plug for people to go check out?
Yes, so on the 27th of September, we release the song that we're going to be playing next. It's a track called I Need Time. It'll probably sound a little bit different because we did do it acoustic today, but honestly, it's great. It definitely has that. I mentioned like old school house vibes. Like it's took that a little bit of me and I've put it in the song.
It's
and like,
definitely one of our more commercial radio sort of songs.
I think it sounds really, really good, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. It goes well at gigs, and yeah, I Need Time. And then the day after that, we've got Gathering Sound. But yeah, I Need Time comes out on the 27th of September, and like we said, we're like Rainfall releasing singles every month.
Brilliant.
Hopefully at the end, going to do our EP. Won't give any more information on that because I don't even know myself. But yeah,
Fair enough.
that's us. That's
Awesome.
End Credits for you.
Final one is, what's your social tags so people can drop you a follow?
At endcredits.uk, we have a website as well, endcredits.uk.com, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
like
Instagram,
all-
Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. What, are we on Deezer?
Probably.
Yeah,
Everything,
I
yeah.
don't know who uses these. Like,
I don't know who uses it, but
There's always like 1% streamed on Deezer. You're like,
yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
guy, innit? Just
definitely.
but yeah, end credits should come up. Our three lovely faces on the profile. You should find us.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
yeah.
All right, sorry, two beautiful faces.
Thank you for listening. If you haven't yet, follow us. We are at Off the Stage UK. New episodes every Tuesday. And like I say, your chance to ask questions to which guests are coming on the pod. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks
for having us.
We'll
I've
definitely
really
get
enjoyed
back
it.
on
It's
some
been really
point
good,
soon.
yeah.
And
Next up now we've got I Need Time.
yeah, we do.
yeah.
See you part 3.
See you later.
Right one as well.
I nearly pressed 4 because, you know, it's at the end.
If I accidentally told you so, I never did. It's all okay. All these dreams of mine I struggle to let go. They're here to stay. These friends of mine who watch me grow, they say, hey, if I accidentally told you so, I never did. It's all okay. I need time to align. Live in illusion, I'm caught in the fusion. Is that such a crime? Don't hate me, don't say my name. Would you trust me even though I told you so? I lied again. Those feelings that you're feeling are fair enough. I tried, I swear. And now you're all alone. And now you're all alone. If I accidentally told you so, I never did. It's all okay. I need time to align. Live in illusion, I'm caught in the fusion. Is that such a
Hey, this is Busted, and you've been listening to Off the Stage.